In this episode of Create Your Own Paradise, we will give you an insight on our old piece of paradise that we have created in southern Spain. And we are going to answer the biggest question that always comes up. Why did you leave? First of all, some general info about the land. For 20,000 euros, we bought a land that was about 1.7 hectare big. The land had two water sources. One was an own spring with drinkable water, and the second was having the rights to a shared water channel called a sequía. Land buying tip 1. Always make sure you have your own water source on the land. If you don't have a spring or water channel, another possibility is to collect rainwater, but then you'll need enough rain or very big storage for that. We had one little stone shed of 17 square meters on the land too. Unfortunately, this structure was not in the deeds. Tip 2. Having buildings or ruins on the property is a big plus. But please do check if they are in the deeds. Ours was not. And it took us 1.5 years, and we lost track of the amount of visits to the town hall to legalize our barn. Tip 3. Think twice before buying land in a natural reserve. Upside is the building regulations are tighter, so the chance of ending up next to a huge holiday resort are smaller. Downside is that building regulations are tighter, so it is also more difficult to build something yourself, and you most of the time get to deal with multiple institutions, and not only the town hall, but also the regional government. If there's already a legal house, it is a different story. Tip 4. Road access. Be aware that there are a lot of lands for sale with no road access. Better check twice if you really are the owner of a road to your land, or if you at least got the right of passage. Carrying up building materials or you're shopping with a mule sounds romantic, but is also time-consuming. Another point to consider if you choose a land in a fire-hazard country is that not only you need to access the property, but also firefighters. Tip 5. Ask for the possibility to rent the land or rent something in the area. If you get a chance, try to be there all year round to feel all seasons before buying a piece of land. You will gain priceless information on the weather situations and which plants to plant. It can save you from unforeseen surprises. Today we're going to tell you all about our decision, why we left our beautiful, beautiful land in Spain.
Yeah, so we dissected it in 5 different parts, namely location, climate, legal aspect, water situation and natural resources. We bought it quite impulsively. It was like, wow, this is the best land ever. And it's not that we regret it, you know, we learned so much and we really loved the lifestyle and we had a great time. But of course, if we would do it again, would we buy the same land? Probably not. Yeah, we hope to help you if you want to make the same decision. Yeah, help you not to fall in the same pitfalls as we did. Let's start with climate.
Climate. We came there in spring for the first time.
In May, yes.
Which was really lush and beautiful.
Everything was green.
Yeah, it was really the selling point.
Then we came back in September and everything turned yellow.
It was like... Yeah.
So yeah, the climate, it was quite a hard climate. It was really extreme. In summer, you got like 35 degrees.
Or sometimes higher.
Sometimes more. So that's something to consider, you know, because of course, it's nice to have some warmth, but 45 is a lot. There was one morning, the first year, it was the 30th of April, and we looked out of the window and our whole plot is covered in like 15 centimeters of snow.
Really heavy snow.
And we're like, huh? Like
and we just had family
Spain,
coming,
you know?
they wanted to sleep in tents, and yeah, it was just ridiculous. Freezing in May in southern Spain.
Was it a reason for us to leave? Well, a little bit.
But then more the winters,
Yeah.
more the moments then when weather changed and then the cold winds came, and we never expected these winds were so harsh. Like it was like really like this tornadoes. You had to take care of all the stuff that was lying around. Everything was flying away, and it was really cold. The nights were really intense, and then from 1 minute to the other, on the next morning was like nothing happened.
Yeah. We once got a trampoline for my dad for the birthday of our daughter. So we just put it up. I'm really happy. Charlotte was bouncing on it, and then during the night we heard some wind, and of course in your bed you think like, oh no, it's not gonna be
But
that
but
bad,
no one was
you know?
thinking about. I was getting up next morning to get something out of the car,
And then-
and it was just passing by. I didn't even no. First of all, in the first moment, I didn't even recognize it. But then I walked back from the car, and I was turning around, it's like something's different here. Oh, where's the trampoline? And then we talked to the neighbors, and then we found it like nearly 1 kilometer further
Well,
down
not
the
exactly,
road.
but it was a
went
long way.
over the farm of the neighbor. Luckily,
Yeah.
no one got
It was
hurt.
at least was like a half a kilometer in line of sight away from our plot. Another good tip, tie everything to the
We
ground.
just put them under the caravan.
Yeah, we just to put something underneath, but not enough. If you look for a land, then a good thing to know something about the climate is to see which trees can grow there. It turned out, we lived in Holland before, in the Netherlands, that we could basically grow exactly the same trees as we could in Holland. And apples, pears, peaches, oranges, difficult.
No, it's no place for.
Lemons, difficult, mangoes, out of the question.
Yeah, avocado.
Papaya, out of all, nothing, we can't do it. If you can imagine that, we're 1200 meters high, if we were maybe like 2 kilometers further and you would be like at 600 or 500 meters, then you could have every tree you could think of, almost, So that's a good way to look at tree lines, which trees can grow. Then you know the climate. I remember the first time that the clouds rolled in from the sea. You could see them coming, and then one moment after, poof, mist, very dense mist, like only 20 meters visible.
We're in the clouds.
It was, so romantic.
Magical.
We're in the
Yes.
clouds. It felt a little bit like, okay, you're really in some sort of fairy tale world where there's
You have
no
all these-
outside. And then 3 days later, still in the clouds. Then it gets a little bit annoying,
So
because
you get a little depressed, and then it's like, okay, movie time.
but you don't have any solar electricity because you can't get anything on your panels, so you have to run the generator 24/7. Yeah, it sucks your energy basically. Next subject, legal
part.
legal aspects.
Ooh, what a nightmare.
Yeah, because we were in the nature park. Yeah, there were some people looking out for the nature.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, of course you
Yes.
couldn't have anything against that. But we had a feeling that they were a little bit too focused
Yeah,
on us.
they didn't want
and
something nice with us.
We did permaculture, we didn't use any pesticides, herbicides, none of any of this crap. Yeah.
When we bought the land, we asked the lawyer to check. We asked like, okay, what can we do? Can we do this? We wanted to do this, build this wooden house, and so she checked everything for us, and so thought we were on the good side. She didn't really read the regulations, I think, because when we got them, it was
There were some things
it
about
was said
temporary
that it's
structures.
not allowed.
Yeah.
So we paid all this money for this lawyer, so you could also not rely on this sometimes. And then the rangers came and said, no,
Yeah.
you cannot
So
do this.
you just came by every couple of weeks, what you're doing, and you can't do anything. Of course, there's a lot.
You're not even allowed to move one stone
what they
without
said.
even applying for it. So I was like, yeah, what can we do here then?
Yeah, and then the thing was that, yeah, we weren't really in the middle of this park. We were really like maybe 100 meters, 200 meters away from the border. So it would have made life so much easier if we just looked for a plot 200 meters away.
And all the neighbors, they said like, okay, what they can't see, they don't know. You know?
But if you can't see it from the road,
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
It's not
So
a
we said,
problem.
okay, that's something I can work with. So I remember when we were already told we can't put a wooden house. And then the second year we already bought it. It was lying at the neighbor's place, it was a little bit rotting away. So we thought, okay,
Build a
big,
natural
bold
fence.
move. We just put it up and we'll see what happens. So we built a whole wall of these reeds, and we built like a visual barrier, so you couldn't see it anymore. Not from the road, at least. In the end, of course, they also saw it, and then they said you have to remove it, and
Yeah,
then
but
we
they
said
came
we
from the other
can't.
side. Yeah, I was always sitting on the lookout on the edge of the land, looking at the road down there, having like binoculars in one hand, walkie-talkie in the other, and the others were up on the mountain digging and working. Like, okay, no one's coming, you can go through. That was a really fun time, but also really nerve-breaking.
Water. Yeah, water is the most important thing in off-grid living or in life, basically. We were quite lucky with the water we had.
Yeah, it was one of the selling point, the biggest selling point actually.
Because we were so high up and there wasn't much agriculture above us, the good thing about it is that you get such a pure water source, because the lower you get, especially in Spain, where people love to use all these kind of herbicides, pesticides, they are soluble in water. So in the end they end up in your water supply, and we got our water tested and the water was pure and good drinking quality. And then we also had rights to an acequia, and that's an ancient water channel, maybe built by the Romans or the Moorish people. It was like 6 kilometers long, got from the other side of the valley where was a mountain creek, and then it got like channeled all the way around the mountain, and that gave us then irrigation water in summer.
Natural resources was actually also one plus point, right? I would say, like with building material.
We had clay on the land, that was really nice. The only thing that wasn't there was fruit trees and nut trees, established ones. We only had like 4 ancient chestnuts, but
Brambles.
brambles.
Lots of brambles. Another natural resource is soil, and at our land we had more dust.
Dust, sand, rocks.
And nothing was
topsoil
living
was-
in there anymore. The cows, they just killed everything. So
A lot
the
of,
first 2 years were just actually by stone picking and let the earth breathe again, and try to get some topsoil back.
Yeah, and a lot of thistles everywhere. There were so many pointy, horrible plants that if you walked there barefoot, you would just be
It
like,
was just
"Ow,
not
ow,
possible.
ow."
We're having nearly 2 hectares. It's like you cannot do everything at once. So you always need to take one part and then make it nice. And it's really time consuming. Oh my gosh. I think that's also what you really need to have in mind. All the time everything needs, and exactly how big your land is, where you want to go, and then you plant there, you need the soil there, you need to pick things there. Phew.
Yeah, so natural resources, there was some good stuff, but in general, soil and trees, were not a lot, but not really a reason for us to leave. Okay, the last, maybe the most important thing, location. Yeah, I think that was the main reason why we left, was the location. It was so remote, and in the beginning, we really enjoyed it, coming from the Netherlands, really dense populated country where, on the size of our land, in my hometown Haarlem, maybe we would live like 1,000 people, and we would live there just by the 2 of us. So all this space, was so nice. But of course, it has a price, because we had to drive 8 kilometers to the nearest town. We had an incline of 600 meters. I one time counted like the bends. There's like 130 bends to drive on this 6-kilometer dirt road. The first 2 kilometers were tarmac. Yeah, so then in the end, when you're finally up there, you don't feel the urge to go down. You know, it's also not so great for your car. So we were a little bit isolated, and we didn't feel the urge to go down that much. So we didn't really invest also in the social aspect that much, make new friends, because yeah, you had to drive for an hour to meet some people, you know. So yeah, some friends maybe 2 hours. Yeah, you drive. We go for the weekend then, because it's just too much to go back and forth on one day. So in the end, yeah, we didn't really do that much, you know. And
but
then
we're
when
really social people, and
yeah,
we really love community.
Absolutely.
And we love our friends, and we miss them so much. Like in the beginning, it's like, oh, we have some quiet time, but then after some time, you get so lonely.
Yeah, when the kids came, we really felt
that was the turning point.
Yeah, we tried to really focus on volunteering families to come, and in the summer it worked, you know. But then, you know, family come maybe for a month, and then yeah, they make good friends, and then yeah, they leave again. So it was not optimal for the kids, and we really felt in the end that they missed the social interaction that much, and that made us decide then to go another way. We were so isolated, and we really needed more kids, and school was not an option because it would have taken us so much time to drive up and forth this mountain, this dirt track.
And that was not what we came for. So we wanted to have an easier life.
Yeah.
Not to spend all our savings on car drives and schooling. Car maintenance. That was everything which we left behind us, actually.
Yeah, the one thing we learned about living off-grid and having your own place is that there's a little bit of a paradox. On one hand, yeah, you have a lot of freedom because yeah, your cost of living goes down once you have a whole place settled. You don't have a rent, you don't have a water bill, you don't have an electricity bill. It's all prepaid. But on the other hand, the paradox is that you can't really leave because the land needs you. You know, in summer the trees need water. Of course, you can install like a fancy electric system, but you know, if for some reason it doesn't work, then 2 weeks later all your trees are dead. So in winter, you know, of course it's easier to leave, but still, yeah, if you build your little paradise, you just are a little bit afraid that maybe the wind will take a little bit part of your roof, and you get like a leakage, and you know, yeah, it's difficult to leave. So when you leave, yeah, you always want someone taking care of the land, like a house sitter, and that wasn't always easy, but that's a different story. But that's a little bit the paradox of having your own land. Yeah, it was really lovely. It was harsh, but lovely as well.
I don't regret it, but I would do things different.
Absolutely.
This time.
And that's why now when we said, okay, we would like to have a spot in nature, we're looking for a more of a communal option where there's a little bit more people around. So if you leave, people can keep an eye on the place and help you maintain it, or you know, and that's a big pro.
Exactly.
So I think that's it. Hopefully you learned something. If you consider doing it, do it. Maybe don't listen to us. If you have doubt, just do it. Just read it as well. You know, if we knew all this before, we wouldn't have done it. But maybe we didn't do it in the end all the way. So, you know, sometimes.
Or if you have questions, we still have this Telegram group. The link is in the description. You can come and join and ask questions, and we can share experiences